Meeting's already in session, though. If we could stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, need approval of the meeting agenda. Miranda, Mary, all in favor? Aye. Approval of the minutes, the regular meeting minutes from May 3rd. Can I get a motion? Ross, Miranda, all in favor? Aye. So 5, presentations and awards, acknowledgements, correspondence. 5.1, the acknowledgement of Board of Education winners. Julie's going to speak on that.
Good evening. I would like to say congratulations to Steve DiRenzo for being a newly elected to the Newark School Board of Education, and for Russ Harris for being re-elected to the Newark Board of Education. I would also like to put out a kudos to our senior class. This email came from Sue Ann Taft, the manager of the VIP group travel. And the email states, "Hello, I had the honor of escorting your senior class trip to Boston. It was a fairly small group, but it was the best behaved group that I've had in ages. The students were pleasant, always polite, and very impressive. They definitely represented your school with honor, and you should be extremely proud of them." So kudos to the senior class. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, moving on to public comment. There was no public comment. Public comment can also be submitted via email to susan.hassenauer@newarkcsd.org or brad.steve@newarkcsd.org. When emailing in public comment, please use the subject line, public comment. So 7, old business, new business, issues of public interest. 7.1, there's no response to any previous public comment. Now 7.2, the Staff Appreciation Day discussion for June 7th.
So we had the idea of doing a food truck of ice cream, but to hit everybody with their different lunch periods, that would be too hard. You would need 5 ice cream trucks. So my idea then ran to getting tubs of ice cream and doing toppings and either have it as a bowl or a cone, and then us scooping it out at the 5 buildings during lunch. That's my idea. Anybody have any other ideas? No? Good? Ice cream good? Okay. Ice cream social. So I'll send out an email and we can pick what school we would like to be at and the times. Okay?
All right, moving on, verbal reports, instructional. Krista?
Yep, just quickly, a big, huge thank you to our middle school and Kelly School teacher teams scoring. They engaged in scoring of our math state assessment over the weekend. All grades, grade 4 scored Monday and Tuesday. So big teams, hard work, long day, but well worth it, and I think really informative when we're able to do that. So a big thank you for them for spending their Saturday on one of the nicest days of the year in school, scoring an exam. Next up will be our science grade 8 assessment. We have the practical portion of that, which is the lab portion, and then a written test. I believe that is June 5th, if I'm correct. So they've been engaging in some practicing for that at the 8th grade level. This is the last year that assessment will be given, and it will not be given this year in grade 5 across the state. So next year, those assessments will change and be rolled out at grades 5 and 8. So they'll be aligned with the next generation standards, just like our ELA and math assessments have shifted over to that. a lot of work happening right now with our summer school programs. Our summer school principals, we have co-principals at Perkins, Katie Barker and Christina Sullivan are working with our principals and with administration and counseling staff from the Lyons School District, who we share our program with, to get student recommendations and parent notifications, develop class rosters, and finalize some final pieces with staffing, so that program will be ready to roll. Our middle school program principal is Mikey DeVanzo. She has been working diligently as well, just putting a few final touches on that program, working on some invitations to students. And then here at the high school, a huge thank you to Danielle McGavis, who has been the core of our summer school program for many years. Our summer school principal this year is Kaylee Ames. She is from Canandaigua and was hired as the principal of our shared program. I think they're in good shape as well. Notifications have gone out. Next will be just really reaching out and making sure that those transportation arrangements and all of the logistical things that go in to summer school really happen. So a lot of front loading and planning for those programs to get up and running. Staff will come in for training on July 5th and 6th for those programs, and will begin on July 10th. Our elementary programs will run Monday through Thursday through August 10th. And our high school program will run through Regents exams, which goes the following week, and I don't have the date in my head for that, but it is like the 14th or 15th, I believe, yeah, when they finish. So lots of great work, and we'll be hosting here in Newark again, so Lions students will be coming to Newark, to our schools for that program.
Thank you, Krista. Ed, finance?
Budget vote results, I know congratulations to Russ and Stephen already, that's been shared. The budget proposition for $59,939,699, that also passed. The bus proposition to purchase buses passed. The Newark Public Library budget of $628,682, that passed. And Deb Berry and Chris Misro were the Newark Public Library candidates that were elected in. So that is now done. So I can breathe a little bit, which is good. The other things that we've been kind of working on all the time also with this is working with some health worker bonus portal information stuff with some clarifications, things like that. Working on some RFPs that have been coming up, and that's it for finance.
All right, moving on, Superintendent, Human Resources.
I'd first like to welcome Steve to the board. Congratulations, and congratulations, Russ. Welcome back. We're glad to have you. I'm going to do human resources mixed with this as well. We completed the last round of human resource director interviews today, so we'll be making a decision soon and offering a position to one of our 2 final candidates. We will be having second round interviews for the assistant principal position at Kelly tomorrow, and then principal interviews for Kelly coming up next week. So we're very busy in that process. I would like to thank Sandra Orden for planning and orchestrating last night's community event and speaker that has come to both the middle school and high school, Chris Herron. He's a recovering substance abuse NBA player, and he spoke to all of our kids in our community with different messages. That was very powerful and impactful. I see some kids back there shaking their heads, so thank you for verifying that. Sandra equated the orchestration of the event to a small wedding, and I have to agree with her. She did an amazing job. Part of our comprehensive plan to support some of the areas that we know are problems in Newark was around social media and substance abuse. So last year, when we were building what we could do with some of our grant funding, we brought in Max Stossel, who was here in the beginning of the year, and then Chris Herron, who was here for 2 of the main issues that we've had. And I can honestly say it was probably the best presentation. I wish more community members came out last night because his message was different than what he delivered the kids. And it was so meaningful. I had a parent and family come up to me to say, I wish everybody in this community was here to hear this message, because I just think that it hit home so definitively to families who experience substance abuse, or for even those that don't, because it really was around building your own confidence in yourself and how to be the best person that you can be. So I just want to thank Sandra for having that opportunity come to us as a district.
All right, moving on to 9, review and approval of the consent agenda. Can I get a motion? Russ, Matt, all in favor? Oh. Oh, you gotta remove the, my fault. We gotta move pull the clerical 9.2.19. So we gotta do that separate then?
So you voted on it, now you're having a discussion to remove it.
So we're gonna remove it. Now I need a motion.
Amend your motion,
Amend it.
okay?
Russ, Miranda, all in favor? Aye. We good now? All right, 10.1, board, committee meetings and related updates, legislative. Turn-
Okay, so at the Wayne Finger Lakes BOCES meeting, their budget did pass. And Mike Ellis, Dave Landon, Ann Morgan, and Linda Egner are the new candidates for the Wayne Finger Lakes BOCES Board of Education. June 14th will be P-TECH graduation if anybody would like to attend. I did ask at the end during public comment, they also are having Family University. And one of the topics was helping your child become their own advocate, and that's going to be on February 2nd. So I asked if any of our families in our school district can attend their meetings, and the answer was yes. Yep, that's it for Wayne Finger Lakes. For legislative, we are going to have Assemblyman Gallahan, did I say that right? Gallahan?
Callahan.
Yeah. Come June 3rd. So if you would like to attend, that's going to be at 9 a.m. via Zoom. And we are, 4 county school boards can't do a resolution towards NSBA's resolutions. So what we're going to be doing is advocating to try to make multiple districts go in on one. So we need to have a discussion on what that one topic would we like to be. And one option that legislative committee talked about was the civil service. So they just want ideas and have multiple districts to go on one resolution. So, and then I just want to update everybody on some opportunities for classes. Rural Schools Association has a summer conference this year. It's July 9th through 11th, and it's in Cooperstown. And just so you know, that's Sunday through Tuesday. You can look up what the classes are. And then June 7th for NSBA, they have a free webinar on subcommittees and what the purpose of subcommittees are. So those are just new that I found coming in my email box this week.
And the 23rd is the annual meeting for Fort County,
Yep,
and the Teacher of the Year will be speaking.
yes, Billy Green is a great speaker. We listened to him at the conference in Syracuse. Has Fort County set the date for new member orientation? I haven't seen an email about that.
June 8th?
June
I don't know,
8th?
I don't know.
Okay,
We'll put
we'll
that
get
out
that so that Steve can attend. And that's it?
tomorrow, I'll ask.
Okay.
All right, Board and Education Subcommittee reports. Do we have any subcommittee reports?
I do. You know, I couldn't pass up an opportunity, Brad, so. As I was looking through the Audit Committee sub-report, I forgot to mention that I wanted to put a thank you to Kelly Jorgensen for her work with getting all the budget stuff set up, taking care of that, and the volunteers who came out and helped out, ran, counted, those type of things. So thank you very much for all of that help. Can't do it without them, I can guarantee that. So audit committee, just a quick thing, our risk assessment has been completed. I'm still submitting information to the auditors for the internal audit. I think we picked the grand slam of internal audits as far as depth and breadth and everything else for that, so thank you, subcommittee. Let's not do that again shortly. I think you picked the widest variety of things that I've ever had to try to work with here, and a lot of them. So when the internal is done, we're going to be able to then meet with the auditors just to have the risk assessment internal done at one time. That just is efficient and gets everything done. And then I got a phone call late yesterday afternoon, called back today, and the comptroller's office is coming in Monday for a tax cap review. That is very quick. So we'll see what happens after that. Last time they were in, I don't even think they did a report. They just said everything looked good and disappeared. So it's this year's and next year's information. So we'll go from there. But I just want to put that on your radar in case you hear something or something like that. And then, okay. And that's about it for audit. On capital project, working on account codes so we can start paying some bills, get some things ordered for the capital project. So that's all we have for that.
Okay, moving on, second reading adoption of the following draft policies. 2110, 7313, and then we needed a discussion needed on 7552.
So we need a motion, and then we can have a discussion, right?
Or do we?
The motion should be to move all the policies, and
Then
then
discussion.
somebody will have to ask for the discussion.
All right, so move to accept all the policies. Russ, Mary, all in favor? Aye. Who moves the discussion? Matt, what do you got for us, Matt?
On the student gender identity item, is that a state mandated requirement?
No.
It is recommended by everyone posties.
And we've had that policy in place since 2017. It was updated in 2021. And this is an update that we've sort of been working on since February. It's been past the lawyers, past the district. And essentially, when there's no mandated policy, if it just reiterates the law, we usually don't have it. This one is so complex that it lays out what the law is so that staff can understand what the law is. I think we would be derelict if we did not have this document.
At a minimum, you have to have a guideline that actually outlines. At a minimum, you have to have a guideline or regulation that outlines transgender student accommodations in accordance to the law.
I just don't agree with the fact of biological boys playing in girls' sports. I do not feel that that is fair to our female population. So I don't believe that that should be something that we should be encouraging or allowing to happen in our school district.
This is based on regulations and law, and we, as board members, are sworn to uphold the law, and we need to make sure that our staff upholds the law. If we want to advocate to make some changes to the law, we have pathways to do that. We also need to protect ourselves by having these as, you know, it's for our protection, actually. We're not saying we're for it or against it. It's just basically what the law says.
That is state law then, that, I mean, a boy can participate in a female sport right now?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And the other way, isn't that the other way around, too?
Mm-hmm.
We've had girls who've done football, we have girls who wrestle, so it's both ways.
So we can check this specifically see where it's stated in law. I can check to see specifically where it's stated in law, but it is best practice as recommended by Erie One BOCES to have that I can share
And
to
the
protect
state
ourselves.
and federal government.
Yes.
I mean, I'm in total agreement with you on that. I don't agree with it either. So, I mean, I think it's something, but as Russ said, for policy and procedure to protect the school district from lawsuit, but I think it's something, obviously, through the means of Ford County and NISBA and all that, that's something that's brought up. Whether we're the leader on it or not, I mean, I'm not obviously here much longer, but I think it's something you guys should pursue.
In Fort County, we can ask for clarification and just, see where other school districts are and that.
I mean, ultimately, what we would have to do is review any individual claims of harassment or discrimination as we would any other claim under DASA moving forward. So if there was a complaint about that, we would still move forward with that. And that's just a protection for our children.
Safety.
Just the other one that I guess I would like clarification on too, that I'm not sure where the law stands or how exactly it reads for us, but it would also be the sharing of locker room space with a biological male in a female locker room, and who is uncomfortable in there and who is asked to leave to change elsewhere and who gets to stay. Because the way I understood that, and I might be wrong, is that if the biological male says, I want to change in the female locker room, he can, and any biological females then that would feel uncomfortable are told to go elsewhere and change. So that could mean 20 females going elsewhere to change, instead of having one person go elsewhere to change.
And again, totally agree. I think that needs, obviously, based off that policy, that's something we need to look into.
Erie One has already looked into that for us. I mean, it's clear that if a student consistently identifies with a different gender, then they are able to use the facility of that gender. So we have gender-neutral bathrooms for anyone who would like to seek to use them.
Okay, I guess my rebut to that would be then is,
Whether
Oh,
your
no, I agree with
individual
that.
beliefs believe in that,
Right.
like, that's how we protect our kids, so everyone has a sense of belonging.
so I think though then, in that case, so if 20 females were in a locker room, you have a gender-neutral bathroom, then we're not pushing 20 females out of a locker room for one person, then they should go to the gender-neutral bathroom.
The accommodations are set up for anyone who feels uncomfortable at that point to be able to use a different bathroom.
I think what we're saying is, I understand where you're saying is coming from Erie, but I think as a policy committee with NISBA, then that's something as a board they need to move on and discuss at a further time.
But they're getting it from the New York State guidelines.
I get it, but just like with civil service and everything else that we're complaining and arguing about with the civil service
Right.
guidelines, we could be doing the same thing on that end too.
It's guideline or law, is what I don't understand. There's a difference. There is between a guideline and a law.
You have to have a guideline or a regulation that addresses transgender student accommodations, so you have to have that. That correlates with New York State law. If you don't have a policy, then if there was a claim around that, you would still have to take the corrective action of reviewing each individual claim based on harassment, discrimination, however it comes in, as we would any other claim under DASA. So we have to have a protection that's identified for our students.
I see the protection for the biological boy, but what about the protection for the 20 girls that are in the locker room? I mean, where's their protection under this? Because if they're uncomfortable, what's being done for them? Because as our policy reads, it doesn't matter.
They're gonna funnel into one bathroom.
So I mean, that's where my issue is, essentially, is because we're
Done.
protecting one person. Not everybody, just one person. And that's not fair.
If it's a guideline and not a law, then would it be wrong for Newark to have the policy be that the one individual goes to the gender-neutral bathroom rather than 20
I
go to
think
the
that
gender
would be
neutral?
against, that would be against the federal and state regulations. Now, as Susan said, we can not have this as a policy. The document still needs to exist. Whether we call it a policy or we call it guidelines for the district, the document still needs to exist.
And remember, it was adopted in 2017 and approved. It was revised in 2021 and approved. And as we move forward, we're moving forward with best practice. And I know individual differences may not, but it's based on law.
Well, again, if it's a guideline, it's, I mean, yes.
It's based on discriminatory practices in law. It can be a guideline for us.
But isn't
of how
discriminatory
we address
subjective?
transgender student accommodations, but how we have it written in policy is in alignment with what New York State guidance and federal is coming down with. I mean, we can have our law firm come and deliver that to everyone so that you fully understand all of the pieces to it and why we have that policy that was adopted in 17 and 21.
And like a definition also of identifies as a gender consistently. What is consistently and for how long a period of time? Can I come in Monday and say I'm a female and be in the locker room on Monday?
No, it's consistent,
But
right?
what's consistent?
Right, what is
What is
consistent?
What's identified as consistent?
5 years.
A week?
5 days.
I call the question.
Hmm?
I call the question.
You called it.
Question, yes. That means we have to vote on whether we are going to take this policy out or not.
I think, all in favor of, accepting policy 7552? One? All not in favor?
I like the,
With more clarification,
yeah, the
so,
lawyer.
And we got to vote on the rest, too.
yep. So now, to vote in favor of 2110 and 7313. Any motion? Russ? Matt, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, proposed future agenda items, ongoing discussions. 11.1, safety, security update positions, ongoing, which it's not ongoing. Do we need to vote on this, Ed, or just that we're?
I'm sorry, I'm doing that on what?
Huh? Because, do we need a motion? 11.1, or do we need just say that we're moving forward with the armed?
Oh, if you can just inform people that.
Okay, so yeah, so we're just so 11.1, it's not ongoing anymore. We are moving forward with the armed security in the school. So that is moving forward,
You're doing an RFP?
and we're gonna be doing an RFP on that. So 11.2, retiree receptions, June 7th at 6 PM in the high school library. How many do we have retiring? Do we know?
I don't know specifically right off the top of my head.
All right, and then 11.3, the super eval for board and superintendent. Do we have a date yet, or no?
We gotta decide on the date. Sue, do we have to do yours before June 1st?
No,
No?
I mean,
Okay.
that is what is in the
Yeah,
contract.
Yep.
Yes, so the answer is yes.
If she says no, it's no.
So when's Brad's last day?
Tomorrow?
Well, July 13th. before. That's-
I mean, technically, like.
So
done
I
before
was
the board
thinking
switches.
that we can do it not next week, but on May 31st, it's a Wednesday,
You want to have it completed?
that we can have like a little retreat to go over it and review it and
But we
Sign
want,
off.
we got to have it done within super eval prior to
I
that.
just need to know when you're gonna look at the evidence, right? So I need to have that in, so if that's the day you look at the evidence, that's fine, but if you wanna look at the evidence prior to that, I just need a date, so.
Yeah. So we can we have like a retreat like we did for
You can, you guys
the-
can decide whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, if you're setting it, say, May 31st, is that the day? I need to know if that's the day you're looking at the evidence,
Evidence.
or if you're preliminarily looking at it before you go in and then having a discussion, so that I have the date of which
That's the
you
day
want
that
input.
we'll look at the evidence.
Is everybody
Because-
in favor of that? So we look at that, yeah, what time?
Anytime at
5:30? Everybody go with 5:30, May 31st?
We can do 6 o'clock. Does 6 o'clock make it easier? 5:45, okay. 5:45 retreat to look over evidence for both the superintendent and ourselves.
Then we're good on that. 11.4, actually, before we get to that, students, you want to come up and we'll sign your stuff that you need before you go? Yeah, and then we'll adjourn. I should have just adjourned it, but.
Anybody can sign.
There's a lot of you. Spread your,
Spread your love. How are you? It's okay.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming.
I didn't see you hiding back there.
I'm glad you did. Thank you. You're welcome.
There you go, buddy. We'll see you. All right. 11.4, 23 Board of Education meeting calendar and agenda.
We can go over that May 31st
All
as
right,
well.
that'll be on me.
Would we, now would be time to add something to the future agenda?
That we do, you can, that you want, propose, yeah.
I'd like to have a in-depth conversation regarding, sound and lighting in the auditorium.
Thank you.
thank you.
For both high school and
It's-
middle school?
and middle school, or just high school?
I would say start with high school, and then go to the middle school.
Sound and lighting and in the high school, in the auditorium.
Because we got some not great feedback from the adjudicators regarding our sound and lighting.
I do know that middle school is much worse.
Yeah, school.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, we can in depth, but,
Should be both.
yeah.
It
but-
needs to be both.
They need to call it design.
All right,
Do you need someone here, like, about, regarding that? Like,
Like Kyle,
Kyle, would you like
to
to
be part of
talk
that
about it?
discussion?
Could we bring in AVL design?
If probably Kate or Emily in regards to what the adjudication, you know, what they were saying in the notes that they got back from RBTL.
You know, I look at this as like a sports field for these kids.
Yeah, yes, I do too.
That's an awesome, yeah, good
It's a
statement.
scoreboard, it's a field, that's
Yes.
what this is for them.
And there's
Absolutely,
more
Matt.
kids participating in a drama than there is in football, so we can put equal amount of money into the auditorium. Right?
Agreed?
We had, you know, we see what it has done for, and on a personal level for me, for Jastin, and where it's taking him, and where he represented the school for the RBTLs and the Jimmy Awards his senior year. That,
Mr. Costa?
you know, Cody as well, Dylan Burley as well, you know, he's over at Fredonia, you know, in their musical program as well. That there's a lot of kids from the drama club that are still pursuing, whether it be in light engineering and the BA, getting their BA for acting and musical theater, or just musical, sound design, musical education, that it is a factor that we need to consider upgrading our system to what other schools have. I know a lot of schools are utilizing LED lighting, where we're still with the outdated lighting as well.
And LED lighting, just with that, last time we met with AVL Design, they said their recommendation was not to do that yet because they still hadn't come up with the level till you dim it, so it's either on or it's off. So last time we had a meeting with them in the music department, I think you were there, Kyle, or was that somebody else?
When was,
When was that?
I was gonna say, when was that?
I'm gonna say, 'cause I'm pretty sure dimmable.
Yeah, the
dimmable
DMX
LED
systems,
All
DMX
right.
systems are a lot more advanced now.
Last meeting I had with them was regarding that.
I didn't hear it when you said it.
The last meeting I had with AVL Design, and I think Kate was there and a couple other people when we were discussing the lighting. Their recommendation at that time was not, because LED lighting hadn't come to the level where you could dim it. So it was on and it'd come down and then it would shut off.
So this is years ago.
Yeah, so we,
And just so, I mean, just so everybody, it's discussed, it's on there for discussion, we'll do it, you can do that another time. But also just remember too, when we want to compare it to football fields and sports and all that other stuff with gyms, remember, that you're talking capital project, because you're not talking any small feet, so this isn't an overnight fix either. So we want to talk about it, that's fine, but just prepare yourselves that this isn't going to be something that's not going to be within a capital project. Yeah, so just, that's one thing to keep in mind.
Should
All right.
we then put it underneath the facilities and sub?
Absolutely, it
Safety.
should be under that, under facilities committee meeting to talk about and look
I
at.
think we all need to be involved in this discussion.
Yeah, but that's what the subcommittee's for, though. You discuss it and then bring it back to the two. So I think you discuss it at the facilities committee and then bring it back to the board in itself. But I mean, that's, if it's on the agenda, it's on the agenda.
Yep.
All right, so,
Capital project.
right.
Yeah. Wise.
So now we're at adjournment. Can I get a motion? Russ, Matt, all in favor?
Aye.
Well done.
Yep.